The favorite scene of this movie, and this was hard because it felt like this movie was full of really big scenes. Here's to the part that you're probably waiting for. This is the part where I'm going to rate this video. I'm going to give BIGIL
reviews, reaction, satisfaction.
Hello there, and thank you so much for clicking on this video, and thank you so much for your support of me here at Dad's Den. I truly appreciate you. With that being said, vanakkam makale unga supportku mika nandri. With that being said, welcome to my BIGIL movie review. And if you have not seen this movie, this is totally going to be a spoiler video here, so you might not want to watch this. Okay, I'm just letting you know this is going to be a spoiler. We're going to talk about the whole thing. This is what we're going to do. We're talking about the cast. We're going to talk about the directors, the music. We're going to talk about my favorite scenes, my favorite music, my favorite fight scenes, and then we will go over at the very end of this. I will have a overall score that I'm going to give this movie. Okay, so that's how we're going to do this. So let's get started. So for your cast, we got Vijay, Nayanthara, we got Yogi, Babu, Jackie Shroff, Vivek, and several other young women, great actresses that are on the soccer team, and obviously several more people in this movie. There's a lot of people in this movie. Your director is At Lee. Your music is by A.R. Rahman. So yeah, that's kind of just a little bit of the cast and crew there. IMDb gave BIGIL a movie score of 7 out of 10. Okay, I'm not going to give you my score yet. You're going to get that at the end. You're going to have to wait till the end. All right, so anyway, this is how we're going to do this. I'm going to kind of give you a quick plot breakdown, and then we're going to get into my favorite parts. Here's a quick storyline of this movie. Basically, you have Michael, who is a football star. He's a great football star, soccer player, and he is like one of the best in all of India. His dad's a gangster, Rayapan. But by the way, both characters are played by THALA Vijay. So basically, his dream of being a soccer player gets derailed. It's stopped because there's some issues that go on, and we'll talk about that as we do the movie review. But basically, he can't be a football star anymore, and he kind of takes over the whole kind of gangster Don scene for his dad a little bit differently than his dad used to do it. But anyway, and then he still wants that dream. His dad wants that dream for him, but he doesn't get it. Okay, but then he gets a second chance on living that dream and achieving that dream by coaching the women's soccer team to a championship and to this awesome victory. And meanwhile, during the entire movie, as this whole plot plays through, you've got all these different obstacles. You've got, people trying to stop him, people trying to stop his dad, people trying to stop the women's soccer team. There's a whole lot of drama with the soccer team and just that whole issue there. And that's kind of like the storyline, as simply as I can break that down for you, okay? We will get into some of the scenes. We're going to talk about a little bit more of the plot, but in a short way, that is the plot, okay? As far as the plot goes, overall, I understand the storyline. I thought it was fine. The storyline was kind of cool. It was interesting. You got the gangster thing and then with the soccer team and all that stuff. I did feel like the plot was jumping around a lot between Michael, Rayapan, the gangster stuff to the soccer team issues and all that stuff. It felt like when I was watching the Rayapan scenes, it felt like an old kind of gangster movie, but then it went to the soccer stuff and it felt like a new film. So I felt like it was almost like two films in one were happening. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it felt like I was almost like watching two different movies, kind of. It was kind of rough at times. It seemed like the transitions between each thing were just a little bit rough, if that makes any sense. So let's get into some of my favorite parts of this movie. Okay, favorite scene. The favorite scene of this movie. And this was hard because it felt like this movie was full of really big scenes. Okay, the in-betweens weren't that great, but I felt like there was just some amazing scenes in this movie, okay? And I think my favorite scene, I'm gonna have to say, is the train scene, because it's just that train scene right there, you get the plot twist, you get this whole change of direction of the movie. It literally, that's where the transition between Michael being a soccer star and Michael having to be taking over as a gangster for his dad and a rowdy for his dad basically all happens. It all happens at that train scene. Plus, it is just full of emotion. You go from this roller coaster high of he's going off to play soccer and he's got his new girl, Nayanthara, and the Rayapan, his dad, basically accepts her as his daughter-in-law, and then you're just this high, right? You're like, oh man, that's awesome. And then boom, dad dies, Rayapan dies, he gets killed, and there's this epic fight scene. And then some of the best acting you're going to see from Vijay right there is that whole scene where basically his character Michael comes out and he's fighting, and at the end, oh my gosh, that scene where he's just like, Pa, hug me, you know, because that's what his dad always said, you know, it was like, hug me, come here, hug me. And it's just that scene, that entire scene is just a roller coaster of emotion, you know. And wow, I honestly think that was just an epically filmed and epically acted scene. I really, really enjoyed that scene. When it comes down to my favorite scenes in this movie, it was really hard picking my favorite scene because, like I mentioned, there's so many good ones. The train scene obviously was my favorite, but there was another one I really wanted to mention because I thought this was really good acting job here. So this is the acid scene where, you know, she's coming over to this boy who's been harassing her. He really wants to go out on a date with her, and she's just like, look, man, soccer's my life. I'm sorry, you're a great guy, but just this is my life. This is my focus. And then he throws the acid on her face, burns her face. She goes down. And then this scene where Michael's character and Nayanthara's character have her confront this boy, you know what I mean? And she has the opportunity to throw the acid back on him, but she's like, no. Boom, she takes off her mask and throws it in his face. And she's just like, dude, I don't need your approval. I don't need nobody else's approval. Boom. That was, to me, it was just a good scene. It's like one of those scenes where I like that because it's like, it doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter who you are. Like, dude, just be you, enjoy your life, be the best you can. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I really, really enjoyed that scene. And I thought all the girls did a fantastic job in this movie with the acting, everything they did out on the soccer field. You can tell some of those girls are athletes. I mean, some of them are real athletes. And I was like, oh man, they're good football players. You know, I'm like, all right, that's cool. Because I don't like sports movies where the actors or actresses aren't good in the sports. Because I've seen basketball movies, and I'm a basketball player, so I've seen basketball movies, and I'm like, that guy can't even play basketball, dude. If you're going to get somebody, he's got to be able to play. I mean, it just looks dumb if they don't. So some of those girls actually could play, which was really cool. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So overall, I thought the girls did a great job. Favorite character of this movie. This one was tough because I did like a lot of the characters, but my favorite character is definitely Rayapan. I mean, Rayapan was just, Vijay as Rayapan was so good. And I was thinking about this. Who else wants a Rayapan movie? I want an entire movie with just hit that character. That's what I want. I want a Rayapan movie. That character is just so good, and I want a full movie with him. I mean, I don't know, that's just me, but I would love a full movie with the character Rayapan. So anyway, I love that character. Favorite song. This one was a little tough because I was kind of going between Singapane and Vertanam. Okay. Ultimately, I chose Vertanam. Only because I just love just the song, the sound of it, the feel of it. It just, for me, I just enjoy it a little bit better. They're both great songs. Singapane is a fantastic song, and but I don't know, Vertanam, and plus the video, the whole scene of them dancing in the streets and all that stuff. It was just a fun video for me and a fun song for me, so I chose that as my favorite song. Now we're on to my favorite fight scene. It is definitely going to be the bridge fight scene. Okay. This fight scene starts with them driving Vijay and the coach, and they're just driving down the road, and they end up on this bridge. They get ambushed basically, and this whole thing, Vijay is this awesome fight scene. You're like, yeah, you're all pumped, but then plot twist, boom, coach gets stabbed and he almost dies. You know what I mean? And this is where the whole transition of the movie starts, where Michael has to end up becoming the coach and all this stuff. But gosh, he gets back in that car after the fight, and he sits down and he looks over, and then dude just kind of just slumps, right? And it's just like plot twist, you know what I mean? I enjoyed that scene. I thought it was well shot. I liked the cinematography of that scene as well. I thought there was some really cool, I don't know, it was dark and at nighttime, and it was a good fight scene. So that's my favorite fight scene. In these movie reviews, what I want to do is I want to do like comparisons of like, what does it remind me of? And honestly, I don't know what this reminds me of, because like I said in the beginning, there was just so much involved in this. It necessarily wasn't, it was like a sports film, but it wasn't a sports film. It was a gangster film, but wasn't a gangster film. It was just like, it was something very unique that I don't think I can compare to anything else. I don't know if I've ever seen any other movie that has something like this. Okay. Most sports movies don't involve gangsters. They just don't. So I don't know if I can compare it to anything, but those are my thoughts on that. As far as the movie itself and the directing of the movie and all the different, production values, the camera angles, the filmography and all those different things, like I said, I think there were some great scenes. It was almost like great scene, okay, great scene, okay, great scene, great. It was almost like if they could have put all that into one, it would have been like just an epically directed and epically produced film, okay? But I did feel like there was like breaks in between these epic scenes, right? It was almost like, all right, we're gonna do this epic scene. We got to really focus on these epic scenes, but the other stuff was kind of just almost forgot about. If that makes any sense, I don't know. So as far as the direction and the production of it goes, I think there were some amazing scenes that came out of this movie. Okay, so those are my thoughts on that. Now, I did have some issues with a little bit of the CGI, and it was only during the soccer matches. There was like these weird, I don't know, it was kind of like, it was almost like you're watching a video game or something. It didn't quite look right to me. I was watching, I'm like, that doesn't seem, something's a little off with the CGI. I couldn't quite figure out what it was, but it felt like I was watching certain parts of it, not all of it, just certain parts of it. I felt like it was almost like a video game or something like that. So anyway, I think there was a few issues with the CGI and the soccer stadium stuff, but other than that, I thought it was fine. We're on to the final portion of this review. And did I like the movie? Number one, that's my first question. Did I like it? Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy most movies that I watch. I'm very easily entertained, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the big scenes. I enjoyed the soccer. I enjoyed the fight scenes, the BGMs. Yes, I enjoyed the movie. Here's to the part that you're probably waiting for. This is the part where I'm going to rate this video. Okay, out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, I'm going to give BIGIL, because it had some great music, because it had some great acting in it, I'm going to give BIGIL an 8.2. I just think it felt short of like a super high score, a 10 or like a 9.5 or something like that, just because the plot felt a little forced at times. And I think there was just missing pieces to the movie. It felt like it jumped to these epic scenes. But see, it still gets at 8.2 because of those epic scenes and because of the great acting I thought was happening in this movie. And anyway, that's my final score, 8.2 out of 10 for BIGIL. Let me know what you guys think. What would you rate BIGIL as a movie? Would you give it a 7? Would you give it an 8? Would you give it a 9, a 10? What would you rate it? I want to see what your guys' scores are for this movie down below. And thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you guys think of this new review format. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Anyway, let me know down below. Okay, don't forget to click on one of these 2 videos over here. I know you're going to enjoy them, so watch those, enjoy them, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.